Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving into your home's HVAC system. You know, it's that unsung hero that silently keeps you comfortable all year round. It's one of those things you never think about until it breaks. And then suddenly, it's the only thing you can think about.
I mean, just picture this scenario. It is absolutely the last thing anyone wants to deal with. But a furnace failing on the coldest night of the year isn't just a hassle. It can be a genuine safety issue. It really drives home just how much we depend on this one system to protect us from the elements.
Okay, first up, your home's climate battle. Because to really appreciate your HVAC, you first have to understand what it's constantly up against. And trust me, it's a real fight.
Think about it. Your system is working non-stop, all year long. In the summer, it's battling these brutal heat waves, running continuously just to keep things bearable. And then in the winter, it's pushed to the absolute limit by those deep freezes. It's in a constant two-front war against the weather.
But it's not just about the temperature, right? There are all these other local factors that add their own special kind of stress. You've got humidity from a nearby river just waiting to cause rust and corrosion. You've got the freeze-thaw cycle that literally expands and contracts the metal parts over and over. Even something like your home's elevation can mess with the system's pressure. It's a whole mess of challenges.
So, how do you know if your system is starting to lose that battle? Well, it's going to send out some SOS signals. You just have to know what you're looking for or listening for.
Okay, this is probably the most obvious and, let's be honest, the most infuriating sign. The AC is on, you can hear it running, you're paying for that electricity, but the air coming out is warm and the house is just getting hotter. That's a huge flashing red light that a critical part has failed.
Your HVAC system should really just be background noise, right? A gentle hum. It shouldn't be the main event. So when you start hearing grinding or squealing or even worse, loud banging, yeah, those are not good sounds. That often means mechanical parts like motors or bearings are on their last legs or have already given up completely.
Now, this one's a little sneakier. If you notice your energy bills are creeping up or jumping up, but you haven't really changed how you use the system, that's a big clue. It means your system is having to work so much harder just to do the same job. It's losing its efficiency, and you're the one paying the price for it every single month.
So let's decode some of these signals, okay? This chart kind of breaks it down. For instance, if your AC is blowing warm air, it could be a failed capacitor. That's a pretty small part that helps get the motors going, or it could be a refrigerant leak, which is a much bigger deal. If your furnace won't kick on, it might just be a dirty flame sensor that needs a simple cleaning. And weak airflow? That could be something as simple as a clogged filter that you can swap out in like 30 seconds. Getting the diagnosis right is absolutely the critical first step.
So when these things happen, what's the plan? What do you do? Well, the pros have a go-to playbook for taking back control, and it really just boils down to 3 key strategies.
All right, the playbook covers 3 main stages. First, you've got emergency repairs. That's the immediate, get-it-working-now response when something fails out of the blue. Second is system installation. This is the planned replacement when your old unit is just done for. And third, and maybe most important, is preventative maintenance, which is all about stopping those first 2 things from happening in the first place.
And let's be clear, when we say tune-up, we're not talking about someone just peeking at it for 5 minutes. This is a deep dive. A real pro is going to check refrigerant levels, clean critical coils, inspect all the electrical connections to make sure they're safe, and for a gas furnace, they'll even do a combustion analysis to check for any dangerous carbon monoxide risks. The whole point is to catch the tiny issues before they turn into huge, expensive breakdowns.
And all of this brings us to the big, tough question that every homeowner has to face at some point. Is it smarter to repair the system one more time, or is it finally time to just bite the bullet and replace the whole thing?
Let's start with a really simple but super powerful rule of thumb that a lot of pros use. It's called the $5,000 rule. It's basically a quick calculation that helps cut through all the emotion and stress of the decision and just gives you a sense of the financial logic.
So here's how you can actually use it. Let's say your system is 15 years old, and you get a repair estimate for $400. All you do is multiply the age, 15, by the cost, $400. You get $6,000. Since that number is over the $5,000 threshold, the rules suggest that putting that money into such an old system might not be the wisest investment. Now, beyond just the math, there are other really key signs. On one hand, you've got the signs that say, yeah, a repair is probably the right move. You know, if the system's relatively young, the repair cost is low, and it's the first time it's acted up. But then on the other side, you have the big red flags for replacement.
frequent breakdowns, those climbing energy bills we talked about, or a system that's over 15 years old. And a huge one. If the repair cost is getting close to half the price of a brand new unit, well, the writing's on the wall.
So here's the bottom line. Understanding how your HVAC works, the constant stress it's under, and the warning signs it gives you, it's all about empowerment. It lets you turn a potential crisis into a smart, informed decision. It helps you make sure that your home system stays a reliable lifeline, not a ticking clock.